Man is least himself. When he talks in his own person, give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. Some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious. True friends stab you in the front. There is only one thing in life worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. Consistency is the last refuge of the unimaginative. There are only two tragedies in life. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it. A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. When I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I am old, I know that it is. One should always be in love. That is the reason one should never marry. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. If you are not too long, I will wait here for you all my life. Work is the curse of the drinking classes. Between men and women, there is no friendship possible. There is passion, enmity, worship, love, but no friendship. Men marry because they are tired. Women, because they are curious, both are disappointed. Ambition is the last refuge of the failure. I can resist everything except temptation. Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. Success is a science. If you have the conditions, you get the result. When the gods wish to punish us, they answer our prayers. Morality is simply the attitude we adopt towards people whom we personally dislike. A man can be happy with any woman, as long as he does not love her. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. What is a cynic? A man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. To lose one parent may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be a man's last romance. I have the simplest tastes. I am always satisfied with the best. The only difference between the saint and the sinner is that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Keep love in your heart. A life without it is like a sunless garden when the flowers are dead. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives a mimicry, their passions a quotation. Life imitates art far more than art imitates life. A man's face is his autobiography. A woman's face is her work of fiction. A gentleman is one who never hurts anyone's feelings unintentionally. I always pass on good advice. It is the only thing to do with it. It is never of any use to oneself. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. He has no enemies, but is intensely disliked by his friends. To expect the unexpected shows a thoroughly modern intellect. Conversation about the weather is the last refuge of the unimaginative. All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That's his. Women are made to be loved, not understood. Life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. A little sincerity is a dangerous thing, and a great deal of it is absolutely fatal. It is better to be beautiful than to be good, but it is better to be good than to be ugly. No man is rich enough to buy back his past. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. I can resist everything but temptation. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. Bigamy is having one wife too many. Monogamy is the same. The old believe everything, the middle-aged suspect everything, the young know everything. Questions are never indiscreet, answers sometimes are. Moderation is a fatal thing. Nothing succeeds like excess. The world is a stage, but the play is badly cast. Who, being loved, is poor? One's real life is so often the life that one does not lead. One of the many lessons that one learns in prison is that things are what they are and will be what they will be. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. Selfishness is not living as one wishes to live, it is asking others to live as one wishes to live. By giving us the opinions of the uneducated, journalism keeps us in touch with the ignorance of the community. A man who does not think for himself does not think at all. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Seriousness is the only refuge of the shallow. There is no sin except stupidity. An excellent man. He has no enemies, and none of his friends like him. Life is far too important a thing ever to talk seriously about. She is a peacock in everything but beauty. Those whom the gods love grow young. Society exists only as a mental concept. In the real world, there are only individuals. Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. I am not young enough to know everything. Nothing is so aggravating than calmness. The critic has to educate the public. The artist has to educate the critic. The one charm about marriage is that it makes a life of deception absolutely necessary for both parties. A work of art is the unique result quotes, unique temperament. I put all my genius into my life. I put only my talent into my works. I have nothing to declare except my genius. The true mystery of the world is the visible, not the invisible.